comes to decking the halls in fine holiday fashion, Marshall up in East Texas outshines most much bigger cities in Texas or anywhere else for that matter.
Marshall may be the most brightly lit city anywhere this Christmas. 11 News reporter Charles Hadlock is live in Marshall, a city glowing with 2.5 million lights. Charles?
That's right, Marlene, Steve. Marshall is certainly an electrifying city tonight. 2.5 million tiny white lights cover this entire town, including the town square here behind me. It's called the Wonderland of Lights, and it all began 3 years ago with a simple dream. Christmas has not always been so bright in Marshall. The sagging oil economy had drained the town of jobs. Christmas seemed just another holiday no one could afford. At the town newspaper, publisher George Smith wrote a simple editorial to try to brighten spirits.
One of those that you write and you just kind of forget about.
He urged readers to imagine the stately courthouse covered in tiny white lights. Marshall had no money for such an ambitious dream, but someone who read the editorial did.
And a lady named Wendy Russell Reeves, who lives in France, got a copy of it, wrote me a note that said, have your dream, and included a check for $25,000.
The city bought 1 million lights and covered the courthouse and the trees and the buildings with a continuous string of light. In 2 years, the Marshall Wonderland of Lights has more than doubled in size. More than 2.5 million tiny white lights, a string of lights that could stretch 230 miles.
On the courthouse itself, there's 250,000 lights just on the courthouse. Now, that doesn't include the trees, doesn't include the lamp posts, but just on the courthouse itself, 250,000. It's a lot of lights.
And the lights have attracted tourists like June bugs to a porch light. 500,000 people will see the lights this Christmas.
Oh, it's beautiful. Never seen anything like it. Never. Anybody else does it, there'll be copycats.
The lights have illuminated the town and brightened the economy.
We have restaurants that are doing well, the motels, service stations, and the retail businesses are also doing well, so it's helping economically.
But the publisher who wrote the editorial that started all this says it has more to do with spirit than economics.
It's not about lights. We're not talking about lights when you come to Marshall. We're talking about the spirit of giving. What you have here is an entire community giving a Christmas present to 500,000 people that are going to come see it. And that's what it's all about. That's a spirit of giving.
And coming up tonight at 7 o'clock, the lighted Christmas parade. 100 entries, half of those are lit with the tiny white lights. Back to you, Steve and Marlene.
It's beautiful. Thanks, Charles.
Great pictures, too.
That's our news. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you again at 10.